The loot is in the list. Episode 523.
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com, home of TW3. Are you ready to take your money, business, and life to the next level? You are worth more, and you're about to hear how and why. So buckle up and listen up as we journey to the next level. Please welcome your guides to reach your goals, the TW3 family.
Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
Thank you. You know, you've heard me say it. You've heard other people say it. You've heard smart people, and you've heard me say, the loot is in the list. If you're going to make money in business, you got to have people to talk to. The more people you have to talk to, the more money you can make. And I'm telling you, in times like this, when the economy is soft, when lead acquisition is high, when you need every resource for your business that you can get, money is made when you have more people to speak to, more people to offer. I got a email the other day, and I shared it with my elite mastermind last night in our training about I don't want to say it was negative or anything like that because I don't want to throw shade, but it was a misplaced criticism, I guess is the politically correct way of saying, with one of our former members who joined as a sales rep. And I don't want to bore you, but sales rep membership gives you the assets within our platform to be able to resell our tools for a commission and use our tools to the extent to resell the system. You don't get advanced training on how to generate leads and business for other things that you want to resell, or maybe even businesses you're in. That's in our plus and our elite package. And so this gentleman who was in the insurance world joined as a sales rep and trainer, which is you're just trained on how to resell the tools. You're not trained on how to use the tools for generating leads for insurance, for that matter. So he sort of already had a misplaced expectation, and some of his criticisms not worth the show that we're talking about here about building a list and having a large list so that you can make lots of money. But one of the criticism, which is apropos, he says this: while I believe his system, the Terry system, will work, don't kid yourself. You can't do this without money. You can't. No matter how easy Terry makes it look in his videos, you will not have the same results because, here's the kicker, you do not have a list his size. He gets fantastic results because he's emailing and texting buyers. He has brand loyalty with them, so they buy. Your results will be much lower until you build a list as large as he, which will take you years to do. Now, this gentleman, I'm sure, was frustrated, and he, like anything else, when you try something and it doesn't work out the way you expected it, it's going to frustrate you, and I could sit here and be defensive on why his expectations was misplaced, but that's irrelevant. Here's the misplaced criticism and why I want to address this in this episode, to the extent that you don't have to wait 14 years of online marketing like I have to build a large list. As a matter of fact, you don't have to wait 24 hours to have thousands, if not millions, of people on your list to start marketing to. And I'm just going to let that sit for just a second, because the reason this gentleman didn't know this is because he was credentialed at a level that wouldn't teach you this, but it does teach you this in the fact that I say this, and I had said this, but it missed him. But here's the point. You don't have to be an Amy Porterfield. You don't have to be a John Lee Dumas. You don't have to be a Terry Wilson. You don't have to be a Cliff Ravenscraft. You don't have to be a Ray Edwards. You don't have to be this superstar, rock star, online marketing person that's been out there forever before you're ever going to start making money. You do not have to do it. As a matter of fact, on our Elite Mastermind training tonight, I just asked randomly one of our members who had just joined a few years ago, and I said, in your first 2 or 3 months, how much did you make using our system to sell your tools? because he wasn't reselling. He wasn't a reseller of us. He was just using our tools or training our platform to resell his own products. He made about $25,000-$30,000 in his first 3 months and went on that year to make around, I don't know, I don't misquote him, as 150, 180, something like that, $1,000 his first year, just using the tools, the training, the techniques that we teach at TW3. And I said, well, how big was your list that you started with when you first started? Yeah, I didn't have anybody. And so that's what I want to talk to you about. You do have to, if you want to be able to have sustainable, predictable results in your business, it doesn't have to be online. It could be a retail. It could be a church. It could be a school. You know as well as I do. Take it, for instance, take it out of online marketing for a minute, in online space. Just a restaurant. Think about your local mom and pop restaurant. Think about those restaurants that's been there forever. Like we just had one that in a town I grew up with, and we still tear up a little bit when we think about it. But a local watering hole, feeding hole, whatever you want to call it, that in town I grew up with is shutting down because the grandkids don't want to take over the business. The grandparents started it, parents ran it. Now it's time for the next generation. They don't want to be in a restaurant business, and so it's shutting down. But why was that such a powerful business? Because they had a list. They had a list of, now it wasn't a physical list. It wasn't, in their CRM there, but they had built a customer list of people that regularly, some would only come once a month, some would come twice a month, some would come once a week, some would come once every 6 months. We were, because we've moved 30 miles away, we only maybe once a year at best. But nevertheless, we were sort of on their list. We were connected with them on social media. We knew about them. So the point is still the same. This is old as time. This is old as business. The more people you have connection with on a list, the more money you're going to make. But here's the good news. You don't have to wait. You don't have to take as much time as it's taken me and many others with the advent of all of this new technology and data that we have. You literally can join our membership today, and literally by the next day, 48 hours after you have our system, have your CRM loaded with exact type of leads and people that fit the demographics that you're looking for, that have already opted in. I'm not talking about going out and buying a data list necessarily. This is a data list and you do have to buy it. But what I'm saying is, this is not just some random scraped list or random list of people that live in Spartanburg County, South Carolina. No, this is people that have opted in and they're looking for insurance. They're opted in and they're looking for business opportunities. They've opted in and they're in this business. They've got this SIC code. They've got this. In other words, you've got warm or warmer. They're not hot, but at some point, at some time, they have expressed interest in a certain area or field. You can have them in your TW3 CRM that will then allow you to text, email, and voice market to them, and you can start building your business. You can start presenting your value. Now, why is this going to work for some and not going to work for others? And it's because most people don't understand the distinction between marketing and selling. And I have been preaching this for over a decade now. But the worst marketers are salespeople. I'm a salesperson. I love selling. What is selling? Selling is teaching. Selling is presenting a value and putting it in terms that are not only persuasive, you got to be persuasive, but also in a way that's very illuminating. And it helps the potential buyer understand the value of what you're offering, and it puts it right beside and it contrasts it against the value or the cost of what they are experiencing. And I said it in our previous podcast, I think on episode 522, and I said it to be a little shocking, but marketing is grabbing attention, but selling is trying to divorce the hearer from their money. And that sounds, oh, God, he's being a shyster. No. What I mean by that is most people are married to their money. They're just married to it. Man, I got to have this. This is valuable. I work every day for this. I work hard for this. I need this. This is how I eat. This is how I put a roof over my head. This is how I get to and from my places that I want to go. This is how I buy my cars. This is how I put clothes on my back. This is so valuable to me. They're married to it. Well, a good salesperson says, I want to divorce you from that. How? Because I want to present something that's in my hand that you are going to find more valuable than the money you have in your hand. Now, that's not dirty. That's not unethical. That's not slimy. That's business. That's sales. And most people that have been in sales, they love it, but they struggle with marketing. And there's a huge difference between sales and marketing in this one respect. Sales is explaining, it's talking, it's presenting the value, it's building rapport. But people don't care about anything you're selling until they've given you permission. And marketing is what brings them to that place that they have now given you permission to speak. And if you start off selling to people, if you start off saying, here's what I can do, this is what I'm going to do, this is going to help you, and you just start hitting those bullet points of why they need to buy today, they're going to turn you off faster than they were able to even see you. Marketing is an image, it's a graphic, it's text, it's words that speaks to the listener, hearer, seer. It grabs them and it joins a conversation they're already having. Selling is the conversation you want to have. Marketing is joining the conversation they are already having. And so my ad copy, my text, my email, my YouTube videos, my podcast, I'm trying my best to first and foremost grab them, touch them, have impact with them right where they're at. And if you keep listening, if you keep going down the rabbit hole, I then convert that marketing stature, that marketing position I have, and I pivot to selling. But if I lead off selling, I don't get anyone's attention. And so when you start with a large database, the second thing, because the thing that's sort of short-sighted with this misplaced criticism this person was offering me, and I appreciate it for what it's worth to me and thank him for his honest response. But even if you had the list that I had and took 14 years to build, which I'm telling you could have like within hours, but then that's just part of it. The loot is in the list, but then what do you say to that list? How do you approach that list? One of the things he offers in here is he says, well, I believe his system works. Not kid yourself, it takes money to make money. You can't do it no matter how easy he makes it look. You will have the same results because you do not have a list his size. He gets fantastic results because he's emailing and texting buyers. He has brand loyalty. I want to bring that just for a second. Brand loyalty. The reason my list is loyal and will make purchases from me is because I have built a trust with them. They know when they engage me, they know I'm an honest person. They know that what my attitudes towards certain things are. They know my brand. And so to the extent that they like it, they find value in it, they're loyal to it. So here again, a little bit misplaced. The loot is in the list. It won't take you forever to build a list. You can have it in just hours. Secondly, though, you can have brand loyalty as well. This is not unique to me. How did I build brand loyalty, as this gentleman is using as a criticism? One word: authenticity. I'm authentically myself in this regards. I make mistakes. I misspell words. I misspeak. I am not the smoothest person in the world. I'm just not. I am so I'm so raw and unpolished at times. It's part of my branding. But I have found the people that do business with me, my clients, my audience, my members, they like that. Matter of fact, I hear all the time, that's why we're here. We like the fact that you sort of show the warts and the bumps and the bruises, and you don't try to spin something where everything has to look good. No, you say, hey, this is screwed up. But that's how here again, you could build brand loyalty on your first email, on your first engagement, on your first set of things that go out. You can build it. How? Be authentically you. Be okay with people saying, hey, I don't like you because fill in the blank. Let me tell you something. It's 10-1. It is 10-1 of people that give me negative comments and feedback to one positive comment and feedback. And you know what? That's probably right. Not that 10-1 people dislike me. Most of the time, a negative opinion, a negative thought is more motivated and will speak louder and more frequent and more often and easier than someone that likes you or digs you. How many times have you really liked something, saw something, man, that's funny, I like that. And you go on your way and you smile or you laugh or you have that positive emotion, but you don't say anything, you don't do anything. But then someone says something that just ticks you off, rubs you the wrong way, irritates you, and it's so easy to respond an email with a snarky comment, leave a negative review, hit thumbs down, whatever, because negative emotions typically are more animated, motivated, and take action quicker than positive emotions. So it's 10-1. And that's what discourages a lot of people from putting themselves out there. Yeah, you got this list now, but what do? You put yourself out there, but then all of a sudden you're getting 10-1 negative responses. Who cares? I've said this so many times, I feel like I repeat myself, but statistically speaking, 2% of the people is what you're about going to get on a good campaign. If you send out 1,000-piece mailer, if you send out 1,000 emails, if you send out 1,000 texts, if it's a good marketing piece, expect about 2%. 2%. That means 98% of people said, don't like you or not interested. But in our industry, if you're getting 2 people out of 100, you're a rock star. You can take that strategy and resell it to other people in the industry. Here again, loot's in the list, but branding is in your behavior. So to respond more in depth to, some of this misplaced understanding of how things work and business works, especially on this, yes, you do have to have a large list, but no, it doesn't take forever to build it. Yes, you do have to have brand loyalty, but no, it don't take long to build it. Now, I tell you what doesn't take. You can lose your brand in just a matter of seconds, but it doesn't mean it takes forever. Yes, the longer you're out there, the more frequent you're out there, the more your audience sees you go through hardship but still overcome, the stronger your brand gets. It didn't take me long to build my brand. It took me a while to make it as strong as it is. I'll give him that. It does take a while. But here's the point. If you don't start today, when are you going to start? And if you're going to do anything worth having, you're going to have to fight for it. So I don't know why anyone would say anything's easy, but here's the thing. You can start doing what you want to do in the field you want to do it in today. You don't have to wait. You can do something today, but you have to get started. But comments like this gentleman are basically validating other people and his own excuses that I can't because fill in the blank. And you've heard the cliche, can't never could and won't never will. But here's what I would tell you. There's one that's always understated, and that's maybe. Yes, can't never could, and he's in the can't column. Can't never could, and he never will. He's just trying to get an audience to validate his belief that you just can't. You just can't do it. Too hard. So can't never could. I won't do this. Well, that'll never happen at that point. You can't even fall into good luck if you won't do something. So can't never could, won't never will, because won't even try. But maybe is the most dangerous of them all. Maybe is that person, that mindset, that attitude that, well, I'm going to try it, but I'm not going to put my heart into it because I don't want to get hurt if I'm disappointed. In the valley of indecision, in the valley of maybe, can't never could, won't never would, but maybe won't stick around long enough to see what's possible. And I will tell you, the problem this gentleman has, along with so many others, this isn't about him. I'm just talking about the mindset. I'm just talking about the attitude. There are so many people that are in the maybe camp. And maybe will kill you because maybe tries, maybe puts their toes in the water, maybe gets involved because they just want more out of life. What's wrong with wanting more? Why can't I just have more? I just maybe if I try this product, I can lose the weight I'm trying. Maybe if I just try this opportunity, I can finally start earning some of them. Maybe if I get this degree, I can find that job I'm looking for. Maybe if I start hanging out with these type people, my life will get better. Maybe if I try this religion, this church, this doctrine, I can find peace. Maybe. Maybe so dangerous because the first sign of adversity, the first sign of pushback, the first time or eventually as it gets harder and harder and harder, maybe won't stick around. The problem with maybe is maybe puts you in a position to experience just enough negative emotions and pains to validate an attitude that puts you over into the can't or won't column for the rest of your life. And can't never could and won't never will. But I'm telling you, if you're in the maybe camp, guard yourself. And I would tell you this. Don't say maybe. Say when I do this and when this happens and when I eventually learn the skills I need to do this, or when I'm finally out there long enough that I get that break, or when this happens, this is my next step. I heard Tony Robbins say something a long time ago, and boy, have I used this in my own personal life, and I encourage you to use it as well. But he says, and you probably have heard it yourself, that, well, you just can't control how you feel. You just can't control how you feel. You're going to feel the way you feel. And I've never believed that. And I believe my faith even teaches, so be it according to your faith. You know, as a man thinketh, so is he. I mean, there's so many passages I can recall that tells me I can, through the free will of what God has given me, choose to have a better attitude, mindset, and outlook. But he gave something that was so practical and actionable. I loved it, and I use it to this day. And he said it this way, and it goes into the way you think, because you feel, your feelings are based on your thinking. If you think a certain way, you'll feel a certain way. As a man thinketh, so is he. So how do I change the way I think? And this is so darn easy, it ought to be illegal. because I've had this discussion with my wife. I've had this discussion with other people. And I've been so stupid to tell my wife, you just don't need to think that way. And boy, if you're a guy out there, don't ever tell your wife, don't think that way. Talking about being stupid. Anyway. But I was trying my best to encourage, don't, think differently. If you think differently, you'll act differently. If you act differently, you'll feel differently. Because feelings come from, results of actions, and actions come from the way we think. So it all starts with our thinking. Tony Robbins said this: if you want to change the way you think, all you got to do is one thing. Change the questions you ask yourself. You see, all a thought is a response to a question. And if I'm out there saying, hey, I want to make this money, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I can't because I don't have a list big enough, or if I get a list, Terry's saying I can get this big list, but then I got to build this brand, and you just start having all of these excuses of why you can't. What you're really doing is entertaining questions of, why I can't do this because of this. Why I can't do this is because of this. Why I can't do this is because of this. If I start asking myself, if I can do this, then how will I build my brand? How will I treat my brand? What will I say to have people see my brand as this way? How will I conduct myself? How will I bring value to people that would make them think of me and my brand first? You see, if I want to think right, I got to ask the right questions, because my questions are going to drive my thoughts. So now all of a sudden, I'm not into why I can't do this and why I can't do this and how this never works out and all of these questions. Now my question is, well, when this happens, how will I move even further? What will I do when I meet this marker? What will I do when I meet this marker? How will I respond to all of the success this is going to bring? What does success look like? Why would I want to be successful in this area? Then how will I get success in that area? What will I do to ensure that I will meet the right people for that journey of success? You see, when I start asking the right questions, all of a sudden I'm opening my mind up for the good Lord in heaven to pour in the information, the wisdom, the understanding that I need. And here's the thing. I'm also exposing the knowledge I don't have, because I'm going to ask myself questions that I inevitably don't know. But here's the great thing about that. But now that I know what I don't know, I know what to go after. I know what to look for. And if I know what to look for and I know what to go after, that tells me, well, where do I need to go? Who do I need to ask? What questions do I need to ask? But it all starts with the questions I entertain. I'm telling you, you can go further, you can have more, you can do more, you can experience more, you can enjoy more, you can earn more. The loot is in the list. You can build a list quicker than you ever thought dreamed was possible. You can build a brand with that list. It don't take forever. I'm telling you, if you're giving yourself reasoning and rationale to stay in the status quo, then you will always be where you're at. But if you could say to yourself, where do I want to go? And get very, very clear on where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? What does it look like there? What does it look like? Where do I want to go? How will I respond when I get there? Where do I need to start? Who do I need to talk to? And then answer this one fast. When am I ready to experience that? And if you said I'm ready to experience it now, then let's go. Now you just told yourself when you should start. When am I ready to experience more? When I'm ready to get started. I'm telling you, when you get clear on what you want, you start asking the right questions, and you start understanding, yes, the loot is in the list. Yes, you do have to build a brand, but no, it don't take forever. As a matter of fact, it could happen within weeks. I'm telling you, take the excuses off the table and start enjoying, earning, and experiencing more today.
Thank you for listening to our show today. If you have any questions or would like to speak with us about your goals, then please call or text us at 864-507-9696. Reach out to us online at terrywilson3.com.